You see the goals, the trophies, the unbelievable global fame. But what's really going on in the mind of one of the greatest athletes of all time? Well, today we're going to distill the core philosophy of Cristiano Ronaldo himself. And this isn't from some stuffy press conference, no. This comes from a really heartfelt on-stage interview where he laid out his personal blueprint for greatness. So let's dive in and see what we can learn.
And we're going to start right at the heart of his message with this quote. Right away, you see, it's not about contracts or breaking records, it's about connection. This one line is basically the entire emotional engine that drives him. And trust me, we're going to circle back to just how deep this really runs for him.
So where did all this insight come from? The setting was the Dubai Expo 2020. And look, this wasn't your typical sports interview. He was talking to this huge global audience, and he was talking about health, family, and legacy. It gave us this really rare look at the man behind the superstar.
Okay, first let's just set the scene a little bit. Because this isn't just a football player talking. This is a global icon, engaging with the world on a truly massive scale.
You know, what's so striking here is his genuine humility. He steps out onto a stage in front of this absolute sea of fans, and his first reaction is just surprise. I mean, he's one of the most famous people on the planet, and yet he's still visibly moved by the support. It just shows this level of gratitude that kind of frames everything else he's about to say.
All right, so let's see how that mindset builds into his practical advice. This next part is where he breaks down the foundational principles that have kept him at the absolute top of his game for, over 2 decades now? And this number is key. At the time of this interview, he was about to turn 37. Now, in professional football, that's an age where most players are hanging up their boots, they're retiring. But Ronaldo, he was still competing at the highest level imaginable. So how in the world does he do it?
And this is it. This is the core of his philosophy. It's not just about physical training or what he eats. For him, true wellness is holistic. He sees the body, the mind, and the spirit as these interconnected parts of a whole. You have to nurture all of them.
So what's really interesting is how he boils this down into 3 simple, actionable pillars. The first 2, they're what you'd probably expect, body and mind. But that third one is fascinating. Listen to your elders. He really emphasizes the importance of learning from the generation before you, absorbing their wisdom and their advice. It's such a timeless principle, but one that's so often forgotten in our fast-paced world.
Now for a very modern challenge, one we all face. How does someone who is so focused on the fundamentals deal with the constant distraction of technology? Well, his perspective is incredibly balanced.
You can see his whole approach right here. He's not anti-tech, not at all. He says, look, it helps a lot and we have to take advantage of it. But, and this is a big but, he draws a really firm line at obsession. He sees it as this powerful tool that you have to control instead of letting it control you. And he makes this philosophy really tangible with a personal story about his son. I mean, that constant request for a phone, that's something so many parents can relate to, right? And his answer isn't just a simple no. It's a lesson in patience and perspective. You have time. It's all about teaching that life isn't meant to be lived entirely through a screen. Okay, now we get to the core of it all. After talking about health and wisdom and technology, he reveals the ultimate driving force, the thing that has powered his incredible career. You can just feel the shift in the room here. He pauses, he asks this massive crowd to listen really carefully, and he signals that what he's about to share is deeply, deeply personal. This is that moment where the persona drops, and we get to hear from the person. And there it is. For him, it's not some internal solitary drive for glory. He feels this profound responsibility and connection to his supporters. He genuinely sees his career as something that is guided by them, powered by their energy. This is really the emotional climax of his entire message. It's this powerful acknowledgement that the sport and his role in it, it's a symbiotic relationship. He understands that the fans are not just spectators, they are an essential part of the whole thing. It's their passion that gives his work meaning. So, what do we take away from all this? Let's recap the key, actionable lessons from his philosophy for life and for sport. It really all boils down to these core principles. A holistic view of health, body, mind, and spirit. A deep respect for the wisdom and experience of our elders. A disciplined, smart approach to modern tools. And recognizing that your greatest motivation often comes from the people you serve and inspire. And of course, underpinning all of it is that unwavering belief in yourself, the kind of self-trust you absolutely need to maintain that kind of discipline for decades. And that brings us to the end.
We've just walked through a blueprint for longevity, for success, and for a life of purpose from one of the world's greatest. So the final question is for you. Looking at this entire framework, which single piece of this philosophy could you build into your own life starting today?